Do any of you have anybody in your life that bugs you? Now, I know it's going to take some time to think about that because most of you, got 100% perfect relationships. It's all just, but I really want you to dig deep. I really want you to dig deep and see if you can figure out who is that person that every now and then they do something to bug me. Or, and this is usually where this problem comes into play more, who's that person that chronically bugs me over something? And the way that we're talking about it, it just it doesn't lead to less bugging. Conversation should be a debugger, right? Should be like a pesticide. We got ways that we bug each other, and we should have a conversation about it, and that leads to resolution. All right, leads to resolution. But let's look at the components of that for a second, because if it's not leading to resolution, then one of the components is missing, and we can break down this chain. So, how does a bugging get debugged in a good way? Okay, where no small animals are injured in this film. Okay, how does this work? Well, first thing you need is you need a person, right? Now, what's interesting, they don't even have to be there. People can bug us in our own heads because we'll create offenses, but that's a different story. But you need a person, and you're interacting in life. And generally speaking, there's something that there's some sort of need or expectation or something we want from each other. Expectation could be a negative expectation. I don't want you to do that, right? Or it can be a positive one. I want you to do A, B, or C. Okay, so that's how relationships work. Relationships create, moment by moment contracts on what I want, what I don't want, and fulfilling those for each other, and that builds connection. So here we're floating along, da 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 da, and all of a sudden, um, one person does something that bugs the other one or that hurts the other. All right, that's the first component. You need a bug. Well, you need people, but then I guess bugging is the second component. So you got the bug. All right, termites crawling around in the relationship now. Now, at this point, it's time for the third component, which is an awareness of the buggy. Okay, not the bugger, but the buggy. So if you've been bugged, which means you've been hurt or offended or something, then it is your job to flash the light, the little blinking light on the dashboard said, bug attack, bug attack, bug attack, which means, oh, that hurt me, or that didn't feel good, or why. And the very first move in this is an awareness on your part. If you're the one that's being bugged, the bugged person's part. Notice I didn't say the first move you do is go do something about it. No, 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 no. No, that's usually reactive and not helpful. First thing is awareness. Awareness. And then you feel what it feels like, and you begin to then do the next thing, which is observe what you're becoming aware of. Okay, observe it. Take it through the court system. Is it a warning? Is it a parking ticket? Is it a misdemeanor? Is it a class 2 misdemeanor? Is it a felony? Now, why is that important? Well, 8,000 reasons that immature people don't do. Immature people just cry foul and, scream, right? But mature people, they take the offense into what's called a regulatory system in their heads, and they kind of start to work it through the system. Well, how big a deal is this? Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they didn't do it intentionally. I haven't really ever asked them to not do that, but maybe, no, we've talked about that. And you know what? I was very, very clear, and this is very hurtful, and they're doing it again. And see, we're starting to figure it out. And that kind of helps us to know exactly what we're dealing with, because what's coming next is a response to that. Okay. And we don't want to respond at the wrong level. And the wrong level can be high or low. Okay. You step on my toe and I start screaming at you like life is over. All right. Or somebody does something egregious, really, really bad, and the person goes, well, it's, you know, it's okay, it's fine. And they minimize it. That doesn't solve problems either. So when the offended party is regulating, what they're doing is they're they're considering this. They're considering, you know, just something I can blow off because there's bigger wars to fight, or it's just something that we, you know, you're figuring out how you want to respond, and then you have a choice. All right. And then you go into the next component. The next component is to actually address it with the person. Now, this is kind of the main point that we want to talk about today, which is when you bring it up, how do you bring it up? Okay, and there's a couple of components to this component. But the main one is, are you specific, or are you global or general? Okay, now think about this, because this is one of the things that actually, when they do divorce research, if you're doing the global thing, then that's one of the big factors that says you're headed for a split, you're headed for a divorce. A lot of research on this. But what does it mean to be global? Well, your spouse or somebody doesn't do something that they said they were going to do, maybe take out the trash or pay the light bill, or you know, show up on time or whatever. And a global response is, you're so irresponsible. You're just, I can't depend on you for anything. I, you never do what you say you're going to do. So what have I done? I've irresponsible, never do what you say we're going to do. What I've done is I've globalized something that makes it impossible to fix. See, we can fix a problem, but I got to know what the problem is. So if that's global, you're so irresponsible. You never do what you say you're going to do. All of that, as opposed to, um, let me talk to you about something. You know, we've talked about that. You said you were going to pay the Visa bill, and you promised me you would. And I just got to notice where you missed it again. It's going to cost us now, and I'd like to talk about that. I'd like for you. I'd like for you, if you're going to, you know, take care of this job here, this role, this task that we divide up, then I need for you to do it because it's costing us. Okay, that's very specific, and I can actually do something about that. That's a problem that I can solve. The other problem with the global thing is it's 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 something we react to. You know, somebody spraying you with a fire hose, you know, what do? You globally cover yourself. And so what that looks like is a defensiveness in a lot of people. Hopefully not everyone, but a lot of people. Because they're just getting smeared. You know, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've been listening here for 80 something episodes, and love you guys, but I'm gonna tell a couple of you a hard truth here, and I want you to hear it. That sometimes people will even call on this show, and I'll say, what's the problem? They start to talk about someone, and they'll say, well, they're just emotionally abusive, or they're so this or that. And if you notice, what I generally have to do in those moments is I'll have to ask, what does that mean? What does emotional abuse mean? What are they doing? Give me some specifics, because now we know what we're dealing with. All right, so let's sum all this up this way. Our job with one another is to be a mutual immune system. Okay, if you're in a relationship, I really need your immune functions against my own imperfections. Okay, my own sinfulness, if you will, my own self centeredness, if it appears, when it appears, my own laziness, my own harshness, I mean, go down the list of 10,000 things that I'm going to do in a relationship with you, not hopefully intentionally most of the time, but I'm going to do them because I'm imperfect. Okay. I need you. If you love me, I need you to point that out. Okay. You are part of my extended immune function against my own sickness. That's what a relationship does for each other. We let each other know how to get better. That's what a baby does to mom. Wah, wah, you're late, said in adult words. Wah, wah, I'm hurt. I'm wet. I'm cold. Okay. Mom, you got to do a better job here. Don't linger. Hey, we need that. We need it. Okay. But if we're doing it in a way that really can't be executed upon or utilized, then it's not helping me much. I can wallow in shame. Oh, sorry, I'm irresponsible. Well, what do I do tomorrow? You know. So in our conversations, let's help each other get better. Let's help each other get better.